58 German submariners break the surface of the cold Atlantic waters.
Hands raised, faces pale, their U-boat crippled beneath them.
Taking on water, sinking slowly into the dark, surrounded by warships.
They're floating in enemy waters, expecting to be machine-gunned or executed.
They've just become the first enemy crew captured by U.S. Navy since 8 and 12.
But what Captain Daniel Gallery decided next would shock these German veterans.
Changed naval history forever and created one of World War II's extraordinary stories.
This is not the story you think you know.
To understand why this moment was incredible, you need to know what U-boats meant.
The German U-505 had been terrorizing Allied shipping for 2 years.
Every ship carried letters to wives, photographs of children, medicine, food for populations.
When a U-boat struck, it wasn't just strategy. It was personal tragedy.
By 1944, submarine warfare had become savage beyond imagination.
German U-boats under orders to sink anything. Allied forces destroying U-boats on sight.
The man who would change everything was Captain Daniel Gallery, a Chicago-born Irish-American.
Treating people right mattered more than following rules to the letter.
Gallery grew up in a working-class neighborhood where your word was your bond.
By 1943, Gallery commanded Task Group 22.3, hunting U-boats.
But Gallery was obsessed with an impossible idea. He wanted to capture one.
Not since the War of 8 and 12 had U.S. Navy captured an enemy warship at sea.
His superiors thought he was insane. U-boats sink quickly.
German crews had strict orders to scuttle their boats with built-in self-destruct mechanisms.
Gallery started drilling his men anyway, late at night, after regular duties.
His crew thought their captain had lost his mind. Practice boarding a suicide mission?
Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, U-505 was having the worst patrol ever.
The boat carried a dark history. Sailors whispered their boat was cursed.
Her previous commander had drawn his pistol and shot himself, rather than face capture.
The traumatic incident shattered crew morale. Men believed death followed U-505.
New Commander Harold Lange, at 40. One of the oldest U-boat commanders still at sea.
By June 4th, 1944, they'd been at sea 2 months without sinking anything.
The crew was exhausted, supplies running low, morale at rock bottom completely.
What Lange didn't know was Gallery's task group was hunting them.
That Sunday morning, Lieutenant William Tolan was conducting routine patrol in his Avenger.
At 11:09 a.m., he spotted a dark shape, the distinctive shadow of a submarine.
What happened next unfolded in just 6 minutes. But hidden within was a 7-second decision.
Tolan's depth charge attack caught U-505 completely by surprise. Systems damaged.
Lang faced an impossible choice: surface immediately
or risk losing the boat entirely.
At 11:15 a.m., U-505 broke the surface like a wounded whale. Water streaming from hull.
Gallery, monitoring radio traffic, knew this was his moment. The moment he drilled for.
He had seconds to decide. Follow standard procedure or attempt something not done in 132 years.
Instead of finishing her off, he gave the order. Away all boats! We're boarding her!
German sailors were pouring out of conning tower, jumping into the Atlantic. Some wounded.
Thick black smoke poured from the hull. Clear evidence she was badly damaged, potentially exploding.
Among the crew, Petty Officer Fisher was ordered to set scuttling charges. In panic, he made an error.
He set the timer for 7 minutes instead of 30 seconds. This mistake would save everyone.
Lieutenant Albert David, preparing to lead the boarding party, knew he was volunteering for suicide. With radioman WWII and signalman Knispel, he climbed into a small boat toward U-505.
As they climbed aboard, they could hear ominous sounds. Creaking metal. Rushing water.
David made the decision that would save U-505. Instead of retreating, he ordered his men below decks.
Working by flashlight in smoke-filled submarine, David located main scuttling valve and closed it.
WWII found the timing mechanism. With no training in German demolitions, carefully disconnected the wires.
One wrong move could have sent them all to the bottom.
Within an hour, U-505 was stabilized and under tow safely. When David's boarding party descended fully into control room, they found an intelligence officer's dream.
In their panic to abandon ship, the German crew left behind virtually everything.
Codebooks, charts, technical manuals, and most importantly, an Enigma machine still set up with day's settings.
The intelligence was pure gold. Codes and charts that would save thousands of lives. Technical manuals revealed German improvements in torpedo design and submarine construction secrets. But all this would be worthless if Germans learned U-505 had been captured intact.
If Berlin discovered their codes were compromised, they'd immediately change their entire communication system.
Gallery was about to make a decision that would shock his own crew almost as much as the Germans.
How do you hide the capture of a 252-foot submarine and 58 prisoners?
While boarding party secured U-505, Gallery faced equally complex challenge. What to do with 58 Germans?
Standard procedure was clear. Interrogate the prisoners roughly, then ship them to POW camps.
German crew floating in an Atlantic swell was expected to die. Captain Lieutenant Lange felt certain.
Stories of submarine crews being killed rather than rescued were common on both sides of war. But as American boats approached to rescue survivors, something unprecedented happened completely. Instead of rough handling or immediate interrogation, German sailors were pulled aboard and immediately given medical attention. Dry clothes, hot food. The Americans treated their wounds carefully. Gallery made decision against decades of precedent. He'd treat German prisoners not as defeated enemies, but as fellow sailors.
This wasn't sentimentality. He was brilliant psychology. Well-treated prisoners more likely to cooperate safely. When Lang was brought aboard Guadalcanal, he expected harsh interrogation. Instead, he found unexpected American courtesy. Gallery personally met with senior German officers and explained the situation. Their submarine captured legitimately.
What Gallery didn't tell them was their temporary isolation would last for the remainder of entire war.
Gallery's solution was as audacious as capturing U-505. Working with naval intelligence, he arranged secret transportation.
German crew secretly transported to specially prepared facility at Camp Ruston, Louisiana, kept in complete isolation from outside world.
As far as official records showed, these prisoners captured in North Africa required special handling due to technology knowledge.
What Germans found at Camp Ruston shocked them more than treatment aboard ships.
Instead of harsh prison conditions, they were housed in clean barracks, provided with regular meals, better than expected.
Allowed recreational activities. They could play sports, form a band, hold religious services safely. Gallery's orders were specific. U-505 crew treated as professional military prisoners, not criminals. Work for wages.
This wasn't just humanitarian. It was strategically essential. Well-treated prisoners far less likely to attempt escape completely.
Moreover, intelligence officers found Germans' gratitude made them remarkably cooperative in providing technical information.
The irony wasn't lost on anyone. German submarine crews, portrayed as ruthless killers, proving to be professional sailors.
While U-505 crew settled into strange new life in Louisiana, intelligence from submarine was changing war.
The Enigma machine and codebooks provided Allied codebreakers unprecedented insights into German naval communications, completely. Convoy routes adjusted based on intercepted U-boat positions. Intelligence helped save hundreds of Allied ships. Every piece of intelligence from U-505 multiplied across entire Atlantic theater operations.
But Gallery's most significant contribution may have been proving treating enemy prisoners with dignity wasn't just morally right. It was strategically smart. His approach became a model throughout.
Word of Gallery's success spread quietly through intelligence circles. Other commanders began adopting similar approaches with captured personnel.
With consistently positive results, better intelligence, fewer escape attempts, fewer security problems everywhere.
Gallery's decision had profound personal impacts. American sailors later said it was the most meaningful moment of naval service.
Not because they captured enemy vessel, but because they showed humanity in midst of total war.
For German crew, experience was equally transformative. Men indoctrinated to see Americans as barbaric enemies discovering something different.
Their captors were professional sailors much like themselves, capable of both military effectiveness and personal honor completely. The secret of U-505's capture was maintained throughout war and for several years afterward, until 1946.
When former prisoners returned to Germany, they found a country devastated and struggling to rebuild from ruins.
Many fellow U-boat veterans hadn't survived. German submarine service had one of highest casualty rates. The crew's stories of treatment initially met with skepticism from other German veterans.
Treated well by Americans?
But as details emerged and more men confirmed stories, U-505 experience became a powerful example of honor in total war.
Harold Lang, young commander who expected execution that morning, lived until 2003.
Lang often said Gallery's decision restored his faith that decency could survive even in total war conditions.
Something that made them question everything they'd been told about their American enemies completely.
The U-505 crew proved remarkably cooperative during detention. Respectful treatment made cooperation.
And here's something remarkable. When U-505 moved to Chicago Museum in 1954, German U-boat veterans volunteered to help. These men, who once fought against Allied ships, worked alongside American veterans to preserve their former enemy vessel.
Captain Daniel Gallery proved that even in humanity's darkest hours, individuals could choose dignity over brutality and hatred.
When he had opportunity to follow brutal precedents of submarine warfare, he chose instead to follow his conscience.
Gallery could have sunk U-505 and left crew to drown. Could have subjected them to harsh imprisonment.
Military necessity and wartime hatred would have justified either choice completely and totally.
Instead, he chose third path, one requiring more courage, more leadership, more faith in human decency than following orders.